Today we're going to be doing an arm-focused workout with an emphasis on biceps. So if that sounds good to you, hit that like button for me to let me know you want more of this type of content, and it helps support the channel, so thank you for doing that. So for this, we're gonna start out with triceps, because when we're working arms, the biceps can actually get in the way of working out triceps. If we work them too much and they swell up with blood, it can actually influence how your elbow bends. So, because it gets in the way of that elbow bending. So we're gonna start with triceps, warm up the arms, and then go into biceps and really finish off those biceps at the end. So what I'm gonna start with, this is gonna be an all dumbbell workout. So I'm gonna start out with a light set of dumbbells for a warm up. And I'm gonna be using a bench. You could do this laying on the ground as well. We're gonna start out with skull crushers. So I'm gonna start with my hands right above my shoulders and also at shoulder width. From here, I'm gonna bend my elbows. Now the important thing is I want my elbows to stay above my shoulders. I don't want them to drop down like this. I wanna keep them up high, dropping those hands back to my ears. So this is going to really stretch out that tricep muscle and put high tension in the tricep. That's gonna build up that tricep muscle much more proportionally. We're working that long head of the tricep along with the medial head and lateral heads of the tricep, which if you don't know what that means, those are just the three pieces of the tricep: the long head, the medial head, and the lateral head, or the inside and outside head. Medial and lateral is just the way of describing that with anatomy. So I'm doing about 10 reps of these, just warming up that elbow joint, getting blood flow into the muscle, trying to go all the way down and all the way back up. I'm slowing down when I get down to here so that I'm not bouncing out of the bottom of the movement where I'm using my hand like a rubber band. So I do about 10 reps of those. And now we're gonna shift to a heavier dumbbell. We're gonna do that same exercise, but with a little bit heavier of a dumbbell. So we do a specific warm up. So we're warming up the muscle in the same way that we're gonna be working it. So now I'm increasing my weight and doing that same thing again. And if you don't know what weight you should go for, just gradually bump up those weights till you find a weight that's tiring for you at 10 reps. That will help grow the muscle, and it also lowers your risk of injury because you've properly warmed up. Just a little bit down on the bench so I don't bump into the rack. Going right over the top of your shoulders with your hands, right at shoulder width, bending the elbows, keeping those elbows high. This is called a skull crusher or a tricep extension. I'm trying to bring my hands all the way down to my ears while keeping my elbows in and up. So I'm not laying my elbows drop down like this. I'm keeping them up above my shoulders. You should feel that in the back of your arm. And 10. So that should feel tiring right back along here. This muscle attaches at your elbow and goes, actually one piece of it goes all the way up into your shoulder blade. So what I like to do is just take a moment between, let the muscle relax, clear out some of the metabolites, some of that lactic acid built up in the muscle that causes it to burn, and then I do it again. So I like to do 2 sets of these for maintenance because I'm really trying to emphasize the biceps today. I don't want my triceps to shrink while that's happening, so I'm doing a couple sets to keep that muscle mass and then really focusing my time into that bicep muscle. I found that if I tried to grow both at high sets, I wasn't able to work out as frequently. I wasn't able to do as much with my bicep because my tricep was so sore. So right now I'm just doing enough to maintain that tricep muscle mass. So I'm gonna do one more set of tricep and then we're gonna go to a bicep exercise. So hands right over the top of the shoulders, shoulder width, bending your elbow, going down to your ears. Doing about 10 reps. You wanna have a heavy enough weight where it's tiring at 10. There's nothing magic about 10 reps. I just find that it's a good balance of, it doesn't take too much time to get through, but it's also not so heavy that it's hard to gauge where you're putting a lot of extra stress on your joints. So anywhere above 5 and below 30 is fine, but I like to shoot for about 10. I'm going until I feel that fatigue in the muscle and then stop it. So now I'm gonna drop the weight back down. We're gonna go into a bicep exercise. Now, some of you might have heard of a curl. Most of you probably have seen a curl, but have you seen a bench incline curl? So you're going to lay down on the bench. So instead of being up here curling like this, we're gonna really add a ton of tension to that bicep to really work it through the entire length of that muscle, all the way from the shoulder down to the elbow. So for this, you're gonna lay down on your back, drop the dumbbells down to the ground, okay? This is our starting position. And from here, we're gonna do a curl. Now what that does is it really puts a ton of extra tension on the bicep. I'm trying to go out and down. So the bicep actually does two different things. It bends the elbow, but it also pulls that shoulder forward. So by going back like this, I'm actually stretching it across 2 points. I'm tensioning it across both sides. And so that is going to really elevate the amount of tension you can get in that bicep. And that tension is one of the signals to your body to grow that muscle. So I found that's really helped connect to that bicep a lot more. I get a better pump, better bicep exercise from it. So that was a warm-up set. I'm shifting to a heavier weight. So the important thing on this is to go out and down, okay? You're not just going down, letting your hands drop. So you're not just going down, letting your hands drop. You're going outwards towards the front. So try and keep the dumbbells at your waist level. You can bring your head up if you want, if it's a little more comfortable. You should feel that really stretching that bicep though, aiming for about 10 reps. Nine, one more, and 10. If you've never tried this before, I would go for a lighter dumbbell because it will really sneak up on you. It is so much more of an intense version of this exercise than a standard curl. With a standard curl, I can curl a 40-pound dumbbell like this. With these, I'm using about a 15-pound dumbbell because it's just that much more tension in my bicep. I'm still getting a great exercise into that bicep tendon all the way through up to the top of my shoulder. So I'm gonna try and shoot for multiple sets of this to try and build up that bicep. The more sets you do, the faster that muscle grows. So if you are looking to grow muscle, the biggest thing you can do is check challenge the muscle more often. So within a workout, try and do multiple sets to challenge that muscle. You want to have your rest time between. I'm not saying to work out every day. I'm saying when you do work out, you want to work at challenging that muscle repeatedly. So, letting that relax just for a little bit, 30 seconds to 2 minutes. Then we're gonna do it again, going for a second set. I'm trying to shoot for about 5 sets per workout, because that's about 15 sets per week. Somewhere between 4 and 5. So that's going to help grow those arms faster. And I'm really focusing in on the biceps. If you are looking for bigger arms and want to join me in that, I host these live streams on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 11 a.m. Pacific time. If you are looking to join, work out together, and grow stronger, healthier muscles, and looking for a community to do that, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 11 a.m. Pacific time. Now, if this is your first time seeing this exercise, comment down below, let me know. I'd love to hear. I'd love to hear if you try it and feel a whole new way of doing bicep. Oh. I learned about this one probably about a year ago. So, been trying it, really enjoy it. And just in the last couple of months, I am starting a more specialized training routine for this, where I'm not trying to grow everything all at once. I'm saying, okay, for the next 2 months, I'm gonna really try and grow just the arm muscles, especially those biceps. That was the thing I did, I think I did wrong, is I've been trying to specialize into too many things at once. I'm trying to grow everything all at once. And that's spreading me so thin. What I found recently, I've really been enjoying a lot, is specializing into one muscle. So doing a little bit to everything, and then really spending a lot of my time focusing on that one muscle. And I've seen more growth that way, which it makes total sense scientifically. Your body only has so many calories, so much protein to distribute around. And so if you're trying to grow everything, everything just gets a little bit, as opposed to if you're trying to grow one thing, then it's much faster to grow that one thing a lot and then just maintain everything else. So if you're like me and have been working out for a while but not seeing as much growth you want in a particular part, I'd encourage you to specialize into one. But the way you do that is by just adding extra volume or number of times you work out that muscle in a week. So instead of working everything 3 or 4 times, try and make everything else 2 times per workout, and then that one a lot more. If you have any questions, let me know in chat. Always love to hear questions or comments, anything that might be on your mind, or maybe something you found that's working well for you. I'd love to hear about what's working well for you in your workouts. That's how I found out about this exercise, is I was listening to someone say, hey, I was trying this and it worked really well for me. I'm gonna set these down for just a quick second. Grab a sip of water. So that was 3 sets. I'm gonna try for 5 sets total, so 2 more of those. And then we're gonna do 1 exercise for the deltoid muscle. We're spending a lot of our time today really emphasizing that bicep, because that's what we're trying to specialize into. We did a little bit of tricep, and then are now working into that bicep muscle. I found for me, doing standard curls, I would always feel it in my forearm more than I would my bicep, no matter how I did it. And these I found really emphasize that bicep especially. Like right now I can feel this is a bit swollen, where it would actually be hard to get my arm all the way down for a skull crusher, because the bicep is gonna be in the way. That's why I'd like to start with the tricep and then work into that bicep muscle second. Because the tricep doesn't stop me from doing a full curl, but the bicep definitely stops me from doing a full tricep extension. So that muscle for the tricep is most challenged in this position where it's most lengthened. So the biomechanics of it, you want to be able to go through that full range of motion to get that high tension point in that muscle, because that's what leads to your muscle growth. All right, for a incline or a bench reclined curl, laying on your back. Now, if you don't have a bench, you can do this laying down on a bed as well. Just laying one hand go off the side of the bed, or laying on a couch also works just fine. Just if you are doing it on a couch, just do one side at a time, switch, and then do the other side. So you're just gonna lay with one arm hanging off the side of the couch at a time. Oh, and relax. So this is being a pretty quick workout to do. The biggest time is actually just a little bit of rest time between to let that muscle recover. If you feel that burning in your muscle, that's actually a little bit of acid in your muscle. And that's one of the things that helps signal your body to grow that muscle. So if you feel that burn, that's a good thing. Doesn't feel comfortable, I know, but it actually is a really good thing for the muscle. It's a byproduct of your metabolism. And if you think about it, so if you want to think about it this way, that means you've got sugars breaking down in your muscle and being used. So you're burning that sugar in the muscle. So some people like to think of it that way because they're burning away those calories, burning away the calories they've eaten. So if I personally, I'm not a huge fan of demonizing foods. I don't think there's anything wrong with sugar as long as it's in moderation. But I know some people like to think about it that way, where they're burning sugar away. So one more set of bicep, laying on your back. This is our last set, going for a 5th set. Bring the hands all the way down to the ground and then pull up to the front, trying to keep your hands at your waist level. So you're not bringing the dumbbell down low, you're bringing it down and out, away from yourself. That's gonna put that high tension on that bicep. Trying to lift your pinky fingers up too, so you're up straight. So you're hitting the bicep completely in all the different ways we can, because it also twists those pinkies up. It's okay if your head comes up. Oh, and 10. All right. So that really cooks the bicep. You should feel that burning right here in that bicep all the way from your shoulder down to the inside of your forearm, or inside of your elbow, right in here. So we're working that full length of bicep. I'll move this bench out of the way. Now, when I'm doing arms, I like to finish a little bit with the shoulder because I find it sort of caps off the arm. And it's a small muscle group that recovers quickly. So I like to do a couple sets just to maintain that shoulder. So we're gonna do a lateral raise. If you want to, you could skip these, but I would encourage you to try one set at least when you're doing an arm workout. So for this, we're gonna start with the dumbbells at your sides and then lift up to shoulder height, pointing your thumbs straight towards the front. Doing about 10 reps of these. Now your shoulders should already be pretty warmed up, so I like to just go straight into a set of 10. I'm trying to go up without lifting my shoulders towards my ears. You should feel that right in the top of the shoulder. We're working the deltoid muscle primarily and a little bit of the traps. I'm going until I feel tired in that muscle. And relax. So the deltoid muscle is that ball of muscle around the shoulder right up here, and it actually adds to that arm sized look. And it also helps move that shoulder into position. Most anything you do with your arms uses the deltoid a little bit in some way or another. And the other muscle is the traps, which are these muscles up here in your neck. We're using just a little bit of those as we lift up to the side. So we're gonna do one more set of lateral raises, starting with your hands at your sides, lifting straight out to the side. Now I don't want to come forward with these. I want to go straight out and back down, just like you're making a snow angel. Just a very difficult snow angel with weights and added attention, but same movement. The more out to the side you are, the more we're targeting straight down the middle of that shoulder to really widen your shoulders. And 10, and relax. All right, so that was our 30-minute arm workout for today. If you like these sort of workouts and want to see more, I host them on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 11 a.m. Pacific time. Hope to see you guys there.